Welcome to Mum's Work and Chaos. I'm Louise, and this podcast is designed to help fill the gaps in your village. Each week, I sit down with a new guest. Think of it like two friends having a chat about something important. From toxic family dynamics and medical misogyny to embracing who our kids are and understanding neurodiversity, we're here to make sense of motherhood, one chaotic conversation at a time. So grab a coffee, settle in, and let's dive into this chaos together. Hello, and welcome to this very special episode of Mum's Work and Chaos. I'm Louise, and I'm also joined.
I'm Louise.
So, Louise Richardson is the amazing brain behind the Advent craft kits that we're going to be building tonight. Would you like to show our listeners?
Sure. This is my Advent craft kit, if you don't know. It is 25 little houses that you make up into a little village. If you can see some of our demonstration model Blue Peter version one I made earlier, this is what we're going to make today.
Yes,
so
I can't wait. They come in these beautiful little pink boxes as well, but they're fully flat pack nets, aren't they?
Yep, so we're going to get the bits of A4 paper out essentially, and it comes with everything you need apart from a pair of scissors, which I have, of course, brought with us.
And the lovely Louise has bought these lovely lap trays with her as well, so we can build them without having to use the table. Oh, I'm so excited. Like, that's one of the best bits about Christmas is crafts and mince pies and tea. Oh my gosh, it even comes with a ruler. So we've got ruler, a Pritt stick, and a lovely little scoring stick as well.
They're great for children, but I find a trusty ruler is actually the best thing to use for this, to do all the line scoring.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you don't trust yourself with scissors or you're doing it with children, the little scoring tool is best.
And I've opened my box, and first thing I see is this lovely little house with Louise's logo for Two for Joy illustration and a lovely message about how to start the kit and welcoming you to it. So, oh, it's so cute. Oh my gosh. And look at that. They're all beautifully wrapped in this lovely little tissue paper as well. I'm so excited. I'm really sad, aren't I?
No, not at all.
But I have been angling to have you on the podcast for some time, haven't I?
Yes, you have.
Some of you who may have known me for quite some time will know that a millennia ago, I used to love crafting and doing things, and I started my own craft blog called Rabbit Crafts. And when that was all going on, I came across Louise on Instagram, but you were still in college.
Yeah, I think I was at uni.
You were at uni, and you were studying fine art, weren't you?
I wasn't doing fine art. I was doing a course called decorative arts, which is a bit like 3D design, really. There's a couple of variations of the same course over the country. But yeah, I was doing everything from laser cutting, screen printing, jewellery making, glass blowing, like just everything.
That's insane.
Yeah,
so you got to do a bit of everything as
Literally got to do a bit of everything, yeah.
That must have been like
the best thing ever. It was the best thing ever. I really miss it, actually. They don't do the course anymore.
Oh, do they not?
No, they stopped it last year or the year before.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I got in when I did.
But you were doing all sorts of stuff, and when I first following you, you were really into fabric printing and designing, and you had created your own bag collection. And
things. So I fell in love with illustration. I've always loved drawing. Uni. That's when I realised you could print on fabric, and it was just such a we can do that. Like they had like a printer, like a massive, it just prints on fabric.
That's
so
insane.
You could just do your own designs, and obviously then they're teaching you how to make repeat prints from your drawings. So, I mean, we did screen printing as well.
That was the only intro I had to like fabric printing and stuff at school, was like screen printing and batik and lino print.
It was like that, a level up. And it was
cool.
So much fun. Once I knew you could print on fabric, I feel like my mind just exploded. Like I knew you could do it, but I didn't know I could do it.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You actually exhibited your bag, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. From the range of fabrics that I made a fabric collection inspired by drawings from a trip to Edinburgh, architectural details and things like that. And then I made them into a range of travel bags. Then I linked the technical sewing ability with the illustration and surface pattern design. And then I got selected to do New Designers. It was my first trade show. And I exhibited there. That was good fun. And then it came full circle because 10 years later, which was this year, I did my first actual trade show as a brand at the same place.
Yes, because this year you had that amazing stand and you'd had those back like printed and everything, hadn't you?
I painted them all.
Did you paint them all?
Yeah, that PG at the trade show. Yeah, me and my mum painted. My mum's like my glamorous assistant. And we painted it all together, and then I built these boards that hung off it.
So we have not only been advertising the live, but we know that there are a few people that already have kits who are going to be building along with us tonight. We've been running a competition to not only win a kit, but also one of my little elf vlogs. We're going to draw the winner tonight, aren't we? Yeah. I'm so excited. We'll have to work out when we're going to do it, because we haven't actually discussed that bit yet.
No, we haven't, no.
Louise has come, we've done tea, we've done house tours, we've done meet the family, and now we're building the kit. Do you want to start me off? What should I do first?
The first thing you should do is the test house.
Okay, so
the test house. So this basically, you get 25 houses, and numbered 1 to 25. Every day of Advent, you'll open a house that you've prepared with something inside. Or the elves do it, however you want to do it. The little design house is just a numberless thing for you to have a go at, so that when you just learn the pressure that you need to do and everything.
We've got one, haven't we?
There you go. Have a little look at that one.
Oh my god.
So that's how it will end up.
So neat,
all being well. It doesn't have to be perfect though. This is the fun. I've got real Pritt sticks. We don't mess about here. We're going straight for the branded stuff. It dries clear. You can manipulate it a bit.
Yes.
So it's fine. And if you score and you miss when you go in a weird line somewhere else, don't worry. Just go again. You can manipulate it as you fold it, and it's fine. And it's quite nice if they're a little bit.
Okay. So what am I supposed to do first? I'm supposed to score along the crease along the dotted lines.
Can you see you've got white lines here? So you want to line up your ruler along the white line and start scoring, so you'll get a feel for where the indent is.
So that when I come to folding it.
Yeah, and if you see that it's on the line, or you adjust your ruler slightly. But you might find it easier with an open pair of scissors. That's what I find easier.
Well, I'll go the kit way and use my scory stick to start with.
Yeah.
And then if I'm feeling brave, I'll move on to scissors. I'm so worried. I don't want to ruin the print. It's so pretty. Everything is gorgeous. You can see that you've thought about everything. So much attention to detail has gone into this. It's beautiful. And I've had my eye on one of your kits for ages. Now I get to build one with you, so it's even better. So, along with exhibiting and really going for it this year, because that was something you've always been two for joy. Ever since I've known you on Instagram, you've always been two for joy. That's how I knew you. You have been employed up until recently, haven't you?
Yes. When I left uni, I was working in manufacturing, because that was sort of what I did at uni, in textiles.
Yeah.
And moved from there to be a retail buyer.
Yes.
And I've done that ever since. So it's about 8 years or something. Okay, so where are you up to here?
I'm going to cut along the black line.
Yeah.
I'm not going to forget these pointy bits.
Yeah.
And then once I've cut it out, I'm ready to start constructing. There you go.
Yeah. So each little page, obviously you have got your instructions there, which you can read through. But also each page has little prompts along the way. So you've got to remember to cut down into the roof bits.
Yeah, black line.
Yeah, solid black line you're cutting. But it's fine if you forget, because when you come to fold it, you'll realise, oh, I've missed snipping down there. So once you've made the first one, it does start to make more sense.
One of the things I love as well is when you're buying cards from you on your Etsy, you've got the option to have you write the card.
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
Because your handwriting is so lovely. I feel like it's such a talent, having nice handwriting.
Yeah.
Mine always starts off with the best intentions and then just gets worse and worse and worse throughout the day.
Yeah, it's a popular option. Yeah, I don't charge any extra for it.
No, it's really cute.
Yeah, I do feel the pressure though when people order, and
Really?
I know that it's going to the person who's bought it, not to the recipient, because I'm like, oh, they're going to open it and look at my handwriting. And if it's going straight to the recipient, I'm like, oh, extra pressure if it's going to the actual.
You know, I feel the same because I call like the leaflet and brochure design and stuff at work.
Oh, so, yeah.
But I am not, I'm nowhere near a pro like you. I'm self-taught Canva queen. That's who I am, right?
I can't use Canva.
No, and I like spy on There's no point lying about it. Everyone does it. I spy on other people's brochures
Yeah.
and take ideas, because that's the best way of getting ideas for doing these things.
There are no original ideas anymore.
Oh no,
as they
there
say.
never are. But you want to have one. So I do all of that, and then for trade shows and stuff, I'll get them sent directly to colleagues. But sometimes my boss will see them, and I'm just like, please be happy. And saying that, I know that you're watching, Claire, so hi. But yeah, it is a bit nerve-wracking, isn't it, when the person who's ordered it is...
I like it to all be central and symmetrical as well. So I have written cards 2 or 3 times before,
Really?
because I'm like, no, it's not perfect. It's
Oh
quite
my
bad, really. I
gosh.
shouldn't do that, but yeah.
Do you not... Does like the business brain not then go, you've just wasted so
No,
much
it probably
stock?
should. It probably should. It probably should. But it's got to be right. It's got to be perfect. You don't want to send something to someone and then they don't want to send it. That would be the worst thing ever.
That's true. I mean, fairly recently you started stocking online card printers and things as well, haven't you? Like you're thoughtful.
Yes. Yeah.
But I don't like getting my message printed through those things, because I still want to handwrite it. I still want it to be personal.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
So I feel like your Etsy option of having you write it is still better.
Yeah.
It's so much nicer.
It's keeping that alive, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also it's similar with stamps, right? When you have a business, you can get franking machines where you just shove the envelope through and it prints on it.
Yeah, being that.
Well, I want a real stamp. And it costs the same, so I might as well. And then I can get Spice Girl stamps. I've got doggy stamps at the moment.
You love your stamps. And then, like, I remember, was it last Christmas, you were telling people about your stamp stock and what you were running out of?
So, like, if you want the dogs, order now. Or
if you want Spice Girls.
Yeah,
I've
Spice
only got
Girls.
a few left.
Yeah.
But it's not just that, is it? You have a little bit of an obsession with red boxes.
I
don't
do,
you?
yes. I really like post boxes. I just think they're so interesting. They're part of our history that we just walk past every day.
Yeah.
And you don't realise the history of it, the significance, why it's there, and how old it is. That's what interests me. Some of them have been there for over 100 years. And also, what's interesting as well is to age them. So then, and the different types of them, then you can sort of almost picture that place 100 years ago.
Yeah.
I saw one the other day in Bury St Edmunds that was a really old one, a Georgian one. It was on the corner, half in the ground, half tilted over, next to a petrol station. And I was like, obviously that wasn't a petrol station 100 years ago, but what was it? That building was obviously something of significance that they built a post box near it.
Next to it, yeah. Carriage stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I have no idea what it could be, but it wasn't just nothing.
They do, didn't have significance in the area. It's the thing, isn't it? Like there's a house down this road who has one of those, who has a post box built into their wall.
In the pillar outside?
No, in the wall outside their house.
A real one?
I think so, yeah.
Not a fake one?
I'm not sure. It might be a fake one, but there's definitely another one that's built into a wall around here.
I think they're called Ludlow boxes, and they're usually when the actual building used to be or is a post office.
Yeah.
So obviously my dream house. Can you imagine?
Oh my god, yeah.
That'd be amazing.
I'd expect an invite, because how many times have I messaged you about post boxes?
Yeah.
I was visiting one of my best friends in the whole entire world, Claire, another Claire.
No offence to First Claire.
No offence to Boss Claire, because they actually know each other, which is really weird.
Yeah.
When I told my friend Claire that I was going to be working for another Claire called Claire Tennant, she was like, oh, okay. I think I know her. It turned out that they'd worked together when they were both in agencies, but yeah, they're located very close to each other. I was visiting my friend and we were in Burscough. I saw this post box and I thought, oh god, that's so weird, because it had that crescent on the top of it, and I was like, what's that about?
The little arm. Yes.
And so I took a picture of it and I sent it to you on WhatsApp, and I was like, Louise, what is this? I was walking down the road and I was talking to Sil, and I took a picture of this post box. He was like, what are you doing?
That's
and
me.
I was just like, but it's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? And I thought, well, I know someone who will know what this is. And I sent it to you, and you told me that it was probably actually like boat shaped.
Yeah.
And it had a post office and an arrow to where the post office was on top of the post box.
Yeah. That's what they are. And they don't survive. So some have got both bits that stick up, and then some have just got one, and then some have just got the little knobbly bit in the middle.
Yeah.
And they're literally face the direction of the post box. So again, a piece of history that now might point at a house.
Yeah.
And then you can make a pretty good educated guess that there used to be a post office.
That's so cool. It's really now.
Right, how are you doing with this house?
I think I'm doing okay. Anything like incredibly wrong?
No, you've done your creasing, and now you're gluing. So you need to glue. You can see there's white squiggly lines.
I guess that's what they were.
Okay, good. And then you put your glue on the white squiggly lines, and then you start just forcing it into a little house shape.
Oh my gosh!
And it doesn't matter if you get the glue everywhere.
It dries quite quickly, doesn't it? So
it does enough to hold it. But
you can still manipulate it afterwards. It's a grip stick. It's loopy enough to hold it in place. Yeah. Then you can mush it around. Can't you? Technical term, mush it around.
And you won't run out of glue. That glue stick will last you.
Really?
The whole kit.
Okay, man. It's sprung open. I'm gonna get this. I might wait a second before doing the bottom part.
There we go. Your first one.
Oh my gosh. Do you know what? That's not too bad, is it?
It's good.
There you go. That's the actual designer's one. And my one. They look fairly similar. It's even got a similar bow in the top where you have to hold the roof down.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, brilliant.
Well done.
Yay! I'm so pleased with that. I know it's sad, but I'm so happy. Sorry guys, my beautiful, magical, wonderful assistant, otherwise known as my husband, just popped his head round the door and told me I have to check my phone. No, there is not, guys. There is no.
Maybe we're just not streaming.
Oh no, we definitely are.
I hold this.
We definitely are. You just said something if you weren't. Really. Oh, although my friend who's supposed to be watching live has just sent me a reel, which bodes well, guys. Oh my god. What's he saying?
How's it looking?
I don't know.
So this is streaming on hopefully both of our Instagrams.
Yeah.
And YouTube as well.
Yeah. Hopefully all of those things. Okay, it looks like we're having very mild technical difficulties. Bear with me one second.
Okay, sure thing.
We're streaming to your Instagram.
Oh, okay.
But there's been an error on mine.
Oh.
What's going on, people? Well, it's all fun and games, guys.
I wish I could help you, but I have no.
We're streaming. We're all good.
Okay, good. YouTube.
Elf Cottage. I'm going to get on with Elf Cottage. I'm very excited.
And I have Sweet Stop, the original Sweet Stop, which is number 4.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna start here.
You're going to go straight for scissors.
I'm going straight for scissors, yeah.
You know what you're doing.
Need a smaller pair, really.
So, what gave you the idea for the Advent Village?
This was a collaboration between myself and Friends of Jules. I don't know if you've heard of that platform.
No.
But Jules, as in the clothes people, they opened an online marketplace called Friends of Jules, a bit like not on the high street sort of thing. It was a hand curated marketplace.
Yeah.
And I was on there.
Yeah.
And they wanted to do a collaboration for the year ahead. They shared with their makers basically what their top searches were, and were like, if you got any inspiration here. And I saw craft kit and advent calendar as 2 separate, there's a whole load of separate terms.
Yeah.
I thought, I wonder if I can combine the 2 things. And I knew I wanted to expand out of greeting cards, but I still wanted to stay in paper.
Yes.
Basically, I pitched the idea to them and said, would you like to run with this? This is my idea for a Christmas product. They said yes. And so I designed it. It took me about 4 months to design, and testing, drafting, loads of technical stuff. And then sadly, they decided not to launch it.
Oh no.
Yeah, they just decided not to launch it.
It's such a long process as
Yeah.
well to then get to that point where you're ready to go.
Exactly. I was absolutely gutted because I'd poured my heart into it. It wasn't exclusive to them. I could still sell it, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. When I first launched it, I bought enough to sell 10. I was like, oh, I spent all this money, and is it going to be a flop? Nobody else is going to get it, blah, blah, blah. And I put it on my Etsy, and I tried to make a bit of a last minute song and dance about it. Like, I've made these craft kits, and I did all these live reveals of my Christmas collection and launched it on Etsy, and I sold 10 in about 10 minutes. I couldn't believe it, and it was the first time that I thought, hold on a minute, this might actually work. And I did still sell it with them, but it was going to be exclusive and stuff like that to begin with, and then it went to just selling with them, which it still did well. So in a way, it was a blessing that it didn't sell with them. But yeah, I bought enough to make 20, and then they sold out in like 3 days, and then I was like, okay, maybe I'll buy enough to make 30, and now I buy them 100 at a time. 3 years later.
They're so beautiful. And there have been other times where I've sent you little pottery things.
Yes, I love them. These launched in Christmas 2021. The concept of rainbow Christmas was really quite early then. And you see it everywhere now. People are like, none of these houses have changed. And I've got like little rainbow bakery, a little disco hall. But now, disco balls for Christmas is quite normal. Exhibit A. But 3 years ago it really wasn't. And the little houses, stuff like that, that's all quite big now. But I was a bit ahead of the curve.
You were, weren't you? But it's great because you've had that run up now where everyone knows where to get them from. So it's you.
They get more popular every year, and I just assumed they wouldn't. However, saying that, then I have customers come back and say, oh, I really like, I bought this last year and I want to get it this year, but is it the same? So this year I've decided, I don't know how I didn't think of it before, but next year I'm going to make a new craft kit, but it's going to be different.
Wow, okay. So this is the last time you can get this as it is.
I might still sell this one and then just build on it. You have options.
I like that idea.
I feel like I should make it limited edition, but I don't know if I make the best business decisions all the time. You know, I'm just an illustrator who happens to end up with this big girl business, and you've got to make decisions.
It's really weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird.
When you become a business owner and it's yours, it's really strange. And then you feel like, oh my God, am I making the right choice?
Exactly.
I felt the same. When I had my bridal business, I was selling bridesmaid dresses. I had to order from the brand because I was the distributor. I had to order them and hold stock. So as part of my contract, I had to hold stock.
Like your contract?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord.
And so, So I'd have to like kind of guess, what colours were going to be popular at what time and stuff like that, and have stock. It was weird, but since the time I got it right.
But having been in buying for the last 8 years, my first boss, lovely Heather at Snape, told me that 10% of your spend should be a risk. That's
Really?
always stayed with me. By coming up with ideas for what products to launch, make most of them safe, but then 10% of your budget should be a risk. So 20% fail rate, well, not fail rate, but that sounds really good. That sounds like you got it right.
I think generally it went okay. But sometimes you could never please everyone. Sometimes the brand would discontinue colours, and then I had to tell my customers were bridal shops, and I'd have to say, I'm really sorry, but we no longer do this one. They're swatch rings and stuff like that, and explain to them, soz guys, but we don't do daffodil anymore. And then all of a sudden, like, yellow became really popular.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
Funny.
I wish I'd have stocked up. But be 100% sure what's going to do well and what's not, and whether a particular colour is going to be really popular or not.
That's the fun of it.
It's always a risk. But that's sometimes the fun of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's taking the risk and seeing what will fly. Because you never quite know when you're pressing that button on ordering it and getting it done. So, yeah. You get proofs through and everything, don't you? You check everything and make sure it's going well. Is that the best bit? Like getting the proofs through and actually seeing your card in real life before they go.
It still feels weird. I think that's one of the best bits, and then the other side of it is when you send it to a shop that's ordered and they like it so much that they'll put it on their Instagram, and you're like, oh, that was an idea in my head, and then it went onto a card, and then it went to a shop, and
now it's on their Instagram.
And now it's on their Instagram, or they'll leave me a review on my wholesale platform, and they'll say like, oh, these sold. I had one the other day that said these sold so fast, like I was unpacking the box and customers were buying them, and I was like, oh my goodness,
that's so cool.
It doesn't feel real.
But you met a lot of new people, didn't you, at PG? And that really sort of like, I guess, helped you make new relationships with card shops and things as well.
Yeah. A lot of people that I'd only spoken to on Instagram, a lot of card shops, it was like meeting people you felt like you knew because you've spoken to them on Instagram for years. It's just like real life.
It's really funny. Like I've tried to get you on the podcast for a number of reasons, not just because you had your eldest son, and then you got pregnant with twins.
Yes.
And then you messaged me and you were like, you have 3. What do I do about car seat? What do I do about the car?
All these things you don't think about.
I posted a story of me going to sort out car seats. Indy, my now 4-year-old, had gone up to one of the car seats on display and it had a doll in it, like, a dummy doll.
Yeah, so, signify that you put a child in the seat.
Yeah, and what she'd done was she grabbed the doll out the car seat and she was dragging it round the showroom.
What?
Oh my gosh. And she was dragging it not only round the showroom, but round the showroom by its hair. She must have been about a year old at that point. And she'd done this thing and it was like, is this how she's going to treat the new baby? I don't know if this is a good thing or not. And then you were messaging me about car seats, and by the way, it's twins. And I was like, oh my God. I'd gone from 1 to 2 and then had a surprise 3rd. And she was like, a surprise. And you went from 1 to 3 straight up.
Yeah, that was a big surprise.
And so I was messaging you going, do you want to come on the podcast and talk to me about like what a surprise it was going from thinking you were going to have 2
one more
and then turning out that you're actually having twins.
Yeah.
Like, that must have been a massive shock when you went in for your ultrasound and found out.
Yes. It was a shock. And it was quite funny because the week before I was talking to my best friend. I don't know how we even got on the subject. And I was really sick, right? So this pregnancy with the twins, I was so poorly, like horrific. I had to be signed off work sick. I've never taken a day sick. I was speaking to my best friend about the meaning of names. I don't even know how it came up. And I looked up my name and it means a warrior. And I looked up my partner's name, Thomas, and it means twin. And she was like, is this a sign? I was like, don't even joke. That's not even funny.
Yeah.
And then, it happened. So it was a massive shock.
Our name means warrior.
Yeah.
My name. Our name means warrior, and then my husband is man, so comes from Solomon,
Right.
King Solomon, the wise one. And then our eldest is Asta, which is another Turkish name. It means like original or first. It's our first
cute.
one, and she's very original. Indie. You could tell she was going to be an independent one. And then Hannah's just a sentimental, significant name for the both of us.
Mm.
When I was naming my bridal distribution business, I called it Minerva.
Right.
Because she was the wise warrior. So it was like the business after me and my husband.
That's nice as well, because it's a bridal business, so it literally is about connection.
Exactly. So it was Minerva Designs and Distribution, the name of the business, because she was the wise warrior, the Roman warrior. And
that's clever.
She was the goddess of war, and it was just like, we're going to go out there and boss this. It was fun while it lasted. His name means twin.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
That was really funny.
So what was it like though? Like bringing them home and having to divide your attention between the two of them as well during the newborn phase?
It was better than I thought it would be. I thought my life was over. I wish I hadn't worried so much during the pregnancy. We had a particularly difficult first. So it took us 4 years to pluck up the courage to go again. Because it was just so traumatic. I think it was hard, but your first is always hard.
Yeah.
But it was also...
It's quite a steep learning curve.
It is a steep learning curve.
There's no one, like, unless you grow up around kids and you're like an older child and like there's a lot of young kids in the family.
But that was me, right?
Really?
I'm the eldest of 5. I've
Wow.
changed like a million nappies. I'm used to babysitting everything.
No.
But this was nothing compared to actually doing it. When I found out there was 2, that we were just in shell shock so long. Yeah. But actually it was easier. It was definitely easier. They had each other, and I don't just mean like, oh, they had each other, but they literally kept each other warm when they were sleeping. So they didn't, because they were both in the same little bundle, so they didn't get upset, I think, because they've just, like they say that the babies need to be near their mum and the warmth and the smell and everything. Well, they had that from each other. Yeah, and they had it in the womb as well. So they had each other inside and then outside as well. Yeah.
It just makes such a difference. That's so cool, because I was thinking when you had your twins, I was like, oh my god, feeding them, working that out.
You have to keep really regimented to a routine. As soon as one would start like going like that, you get up, you get them on the boob, you feed them. It takes 20 minutes. If you have one, you go, oh, I might just like put a dummy in and they'll go off, or are they ready yet, or what? That once one starts and the other one will start going. So you've got to get that one fed. Otherwise you time it wrong and then the other one's crying, sort of thing.
A lot of like tandem eating where you have to do 2 at once. I can't imagine that.
It was definitely like a 2-person job for a long time. Tommy was doing literally everything else. Yeah, it was a lot. But we were really lucky, and it was genuinely easier than the first.
When I had Indy, I felt a lot more chilled than when I had Asta, because this is a very unpopular opinion, but Indy was born during lockdown, so literally we just gone into lockdown like the month before, and then she was born.
So the absolute height of it, when everyone was, there was no vaccines.
So I went into hospital, and I had to give a secret password to get into triage.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
So I rang the hospital, and the midwives were like, yeah, it sounds like you're ready, come in. And then they were like, but you have to use the secret password to get in so that they know that you've spoken to us.
It's authorised.
And I was like, what's the password? Spring. She was born in April. I was like, oh yeah, that's very secret, guys. No one can crack that code. So yeah, even standing in the hallway contracting, trying to explain to the security guard what spring was. It was probably quite difficult to get in, actually. And then still had to sit in the car waiting for me to be triaged before he was allowed in to come and be with me. So that was fun. He sat out in the car, and then she was born very quickly. Like, we literally got to the hospital, and we were probably in and out within like 2.5, 3 hours.
Mm.
They wanted you out ASAP. And so it meant that I had my shower, I had my toast. And then
In that 2.5, you had a baby, a shower, and toast. Yeah. What?
Oh, and then with Hannah, she was born at home.
Accidentally?
Oh, yeah. Massively accidentally. So
I'm guessing because they say that they get faster each time, don't they?
Well, my midwife was like, could go either way. It could be that she'll be super fast and you'll sneeze and she'll come out. Or it could be incredibly slow and take even longer.
Why would she tell you that?
Honesty, best policy,
Yeah,
right?
I suppose.
So I was like, right, okay. And it was a case of sneezing. So basically, contractions started and I rang the midwife and she was like, no, they're a bit all over the shop. Just have a bath and some paracetamol. So I did not have a bath. I took some paracetamol and still was like, I'll iron my shirt. He was ironing a t-shirt. And then I was like, babe, I need to push. And he was like, what?
I'm not qualified.
So he was on the phone to 999 trying to sort everything out. And yeah, it was hilarious. So I think the contraction started about 5:30 in the morning. By 6:30 she was out.
And the other two girls were here?
So we were in our old house.
Right.
2-bedroom house. So the two girls were sharing the room next door to us. We had a staircase between us. The stairs went up the middle of the house. And we had this little landing. And then we had their room, our room, the toilet and the bathroom. All upstairs. But they could sleep through a hurricane. They slept through the entirety of the thing. The paramedics came. They were still asleep. I got into the ambulance while my mum literally walked through the front door. I love you, Mum, but you took your time. My mum was walking through the front door and I was getting in the ambulance. Weirdly, right? They wouldn't let me and the baby in the ambulance together.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they can only transport one patient.
Is that true?
They could only transport one patient.
So you have to be separated?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
So Mum and Sil dressed her and put her in the baby carrier and brought her in the car.
Oh, right.
So Mum stayed at home with the other two.
Yeah.
Sil brought Hannah to the hospital. Me and Hannah were checked over. I had a shower. I had tea, I had toast, and then we went home. I spent longer in hospital than I did actually having her.
That is bizarre.
It was the craziest thing because it was so unplanned. It asked me if I wanted a home birth, and I was like, no. No, I don't want a home birth.
I'm having one.
I didn't want one, but I got one. Yeah, exactly. Right, I'm going to just check our live streams one more time to make everything's working on Instagram. But we do have people watching on YouTube. So hello.
Okay.
Hello, everyone on YouTube. It's been fun night so far. It's our first live.
Yeah.
It's our first live, so it's bound to have some fun and games.
We'll make it into a cool reel.
When I popped everything down. Right, here you go. It's all fun and games. Got it. Here we go. I might as well top us up.
Thanking you. Thank you.
And the mince pie, obviously.
So I'm cutting off my trees now. So the kit actually does come with these little trees.
They are so cute. Yes, I have my trees too.
So those have to be scored as well. It's actually easier with the trees to cut them out really rough, score, and then keep the bottom lines. There's always a straight line on the bottom. Cut those perfect along the back line. And then
I love this. So, like, not only these two on this sheet are gift tags, and then I also have my little skating pond as well.
Yeah,
that's so cool. They're so cute.
So when you lay it all out on your mantelpiece, it should look like a little Christmassy village.
That's amazing. I'm very excited.
It also sort of inspired by, you know, when you go to garden centres and they do those little villages, they make like a whole side of a mountain scene.
Yes.
And they have little like fairground rides and they all work and they're all lit up.
I love those. They're so cute, aren't they?
They're really cute. So that was sort of the vibe that I wanted to create.
No, it's so exciting. I do love this so much.
And you're still using your scoring stick?
I am still using my
strong
scoring
with
stick. I might move over to scissors for the next one.
So which have you done so far?
So I have my test house, and then I have Elf Cottage, Bed and Breakfast, and the little library.
Nice. And I've done number 23, which is a gin and gelato house. And then the number 4, which is the sweet stuff.
Oh, nice.
And I'm now working on number 16, which is the Little Handmade Paper Chain Company. Beautiful bespoke paper chains, handmade whilst you wait. Can you imagine how cool that would be?
That would be so cool.
What does it say on the other side? Paper chain workshop every Wednesday in December. Bring your own glue stick. It's been a while since I designed these. I haven't looked at them properly since last Christmas.
They're so cute. They have little stories with them as well.
Yeah, there's always little things to explore.
What am I on at the moment? I am on St. Nick's coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect for me. My coffee addiction.
That's inspired by the little coffee shop in Ipswich called Applaud Coffee. And it's on a really lovely little street with lots of independents. And they're all a little bit wonky buildings. But it's just really nice, simple frontage. And then the 2 windows above. So I was like, I'll draw that as my little St. Nick's coffee shop. I mean, it looks nothing like it, really, but, you know.
No, but it's inspired by. So where else do you get your inspiration?
Good question. Well, as an illustrator, I'm a digital illustrator. I'm not working with paints and things like that, although I do love a trip to Hobbycraft, and I do buy too many things which I then never use. Like felts that inspire me and materials like that, especially come from a textiles background.
Yeah.
But I find a lot of the time I start with colour.
Yeah.
Colour palettes really excite me, and I will often take photos of random things in life just because I like the colour of it. And it's always the same sorts of colour palettes with me, like pinks, purples, and deep jewel tones. Almost moody, but brightened up a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I know it sounds a bit strange, but I often start with colour, and then I'll see a range of illustrations or a card range designed with the colours in mind.
Do you get a full visual of what you want to create before you sit down and put your digital pen to your pad?
Yes, usually when I have an idea, literally the finished thing, I can see it in my head. I've learnt recently that not everyone can imagine things in their head.
Yep. So I was talking to my husband about this. When I read a book, and my eldest, she's the same.
Yeah.
When we read a book, we can imagine the characters. Yeah. We can smell the smells. Yeah. We feel like we're there. Yeah. Right. And so that's why I really like really detailed sort of fantasy books like the Terry Pratchett, because he describes everything. He's like, the river smells of this and stuff, and you can really you're in there and you can hear the people, and it's not like you're reading the book, it's like you're actually there in the thing. But he's like, no. So he's never been interested in reading. I've known him to read one book on holiday, and it was about I was just like,
maybe that's why though. If you can't do the imagining thing,
no, exactly.
It must be boring.
But it's really weird, isn't it? I find it weird when people say they can't do that.
Yeah, me too.
That's not how they see.
Well, I spoke to my son about it. He's 5, and I said, "Can you imagine things in your head?" He's like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "So imagine like an elephant." He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "And it's pink." He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "It's holding one leg up." Yeah. And I'm like, "Well, what do you think it's got on its head?" And he's like, maybe a hat or something. And then he's like laughing at himself because he's like, and then his hat falls off, and then he's like making up a story. I'm like, when I have an idea for a design or I see it, but it's sort of like if it's not quite together, what I like to say is blurry, because I can see it, but if I look at it, it's not there. I can sort of see it in my peripheral vision a bit, and I can see the colours, but I can't pay it too much attention because then it disappears. and it's just like
Yeah.
chasing that.
I used to get really scared when I was doing art at school.
Mm.
I didn't do too badly. I got a B in art and an A star in graphic design at school. School. And I really loved art, but I was really scared of the blank page, like actually starting it.
Yeah,
because
that's really
I wanted
common.
it to be perfect, like straight up. And so if I ever made a mistake, I'd get really upset about
Yeah.
it. And now I see that in my daughter as well.
Oh, really?
And she gets really upset if she makes a mistake. She'll, really upset.
Yeah.
And and then I found out all of that stuff, like, is the emotional dysregulation and the inability to take criticism and stuff like that. It's all linked to ADHD, and I was just like,
it makes so much sense.
So she was diagnosed, and now it's been over 2 years since I was referred. I've still got a while to go, unless I go private. But the only problem with going private is that you have to battle to get your medication on the NHS.
Yeah, because you haven't got an NHS diagnosis, I guess.
Yeah,
it's
so it's fun time. But yeah, it's so, I do find that weird. I'm the same. If I have an idea for something, I can generally see it and imagine it. When I was planning the studio out and everything, I drew it. I used to love drawing rooms.
Yeah.
I really like the whole perspective thing.
Did you ever play Habbo Hotel?
No.
What? You'd have loved it. It was like The Sims, but online. And then you had furniture you could trade with each other and you could buy, and you make your own rooms, and then your friends in real life. Instead of going on MSN, it'd be like, I'll see you on Habbo tonight. I can't believe you didn't do Habbo.
No.
Is it niche? I thought everyone did Habbo.
I don't know, but it does sound like, so my eldest, one of my nieces, she plays a game in Roblox called Bloxburg. She builds houses, like full-on architectural masterpieces.
Yeah.
She was showing me how she's been getting on with this house that she's been building for, and I do not exaggerate with this, because she has to do tasks to earn money, build the house. She just went, Auntie Lou, I've run out of money again, and it's just taking forever, and I don't know what to do. Well, you have to get another job, won't you? Because delivering pizzas isn't quite cutting it anymore. So you're going to have to do something else to make the money to keep your house building up. Everyone's saying they can see us.
That's good. Well, now, or was it an hour ago?
Who knows? Whatever. It'll happen, I'm sure. It's going so well, guys. All of this is just going brilliantly. But regardless, there will be a podcast. You can see it on YouTube. And my friend said she was watching. My Saint Nick's is nearly done. I'm just gluing it all together. Would you say there's a best way to glue these things? Is it to start roof first or do the sides? What?
I don't know about gluing. I think I probably do the roof first, but
Yeah.
I think it's definitely best to like manipulate the house so you do all your creases as we have been, but almost put it together, and then as it comes apart, as you pull it apart, glue the last bit first, if you see what I mean. Yeah. So I think because of the way they're made, the roof being at the top, that bit would naturally slot together. Yes. So I'm going to make my little one of my little trees now. So you get 3 little, they're like a trio thing. It's been a long day.
Well, you've been out for a good proportion of the day.
I have. I left my house at 8 o'clock this morning. I went into central London to visit the Spirit of Christmas fair at Olympia to scope it out for potential being at next year with my ad. And then I met a friend for dinner. Yeah. And I went to pick up a card spinner because they are like gold dust and I cannot find one that fits my cards.
Is it because your cards are a funny size?
No, they're not. They're A6. They're just normal card size, but most of them are for square, and then when you put A6 in, it sort of falls down a bit. It can look messy.
That's so weird. Your cards are a normal card size, yet you can't find a card spinner.
I mean, I can buy one new. But I think shops get the square ones because they can fit all shapes in them.
Yeah, but then it still looks messy.
Yeah, I don't know if that actually would that bother, if you were buying a card, would you care if it was if it had fallen diagonal? I mean, I would care if it was my shop. We just want gone to the ends of the to find a card spinner that fits. I tell you what though, It was pretty fancy. Every house had ambient lights outside.
Ooh.
Like, they all got the memo with the mood lighting on the driveway. I was pleasantly surprised.
I'm loving this. So not only is there like design on the front of this, I've then got a bicycle parked outside the side of the shop, and then there's wreaths in every window, and a little sleigh on the roof.
Oh yeah.
Did you forget about
Yeah,
that?
I did, yeah. My memory is absolutely awful since having children. Horrific.
Do you think it's made it so much worse?
It's like not even funny, really bad. My partner will tell me something and I'll be like, what? And he'll go, yeah, that was your reaction the first time I told you. Or he'll say something and I'll go, we haven't done that. And he's like, Louise, don't be ridiculous. We've already spoken about this, or that happened, or we went there.
I get called that when I'm in trouble. Louise. Yeah. Otherwise it's Lou or Babe. My 2-year-old, soon to be 3 next week.
Oh wow.
I know. It's so weird. Next week on the 14th, she is 3. Forgot what day of the week it was. She turns 3, and she went to me the other day. She was like, Mummy, what's your name? And I was like, Mummy. Yeah, they all go through this. And I was like, Mummy, my name's Mummy. And she went,
no. There's something
and I was
else,
like,
something beneath the surface here.
What's that then? And she goes, Mummy, your name is Lou,
Oh.
and Daddy is called Dill. And I was like, oh yeah, where did you learn this? Apparently the ladies at nursery told her.
Oh, that's strange.
They've been doing self
Okay.
at nursery.
Yeah.
And so now, like, I'll say to her, oh, you're right, baby, what are you up to? And she goes, I am not baby, I am Hannah. And I'm like, oh, okay then.
Oh, little love.
So now I can't call her baby or anything anymore. She's just Hannah.
I call my 2 like, oh, can we get the babies? Let's get the babies up or whatever. And I'm like, no, they're nearly 2. They're not babies. You're not babies by any stretch.
What do you think they think of you calling them babies? What stage of forming opinions about stuff are we at with them now?
There.
They're not there.
No, they're not there. So that it's not them. I hear myself doing it, and I'm like, no, I need to stop saying. I mean, they are the babies,
really
and they
don't.
always will be, but they're not actual babies.
I sometimes like to wind Hannah up now that she's like, no, my name is Hannah. I'm
Yeah.
not baby. I go, have you ever read the book Burglar Bill?
No.
It's such a good book. So when I was little, my mum got us this book called Burglar Bill. And I can't remember who it's written by, but I'm sure that my friend Tash could text in and tell me who wrote Burglar Bill. Because Tash is the glorious owner of Chicken and Frog Bookshop.
Oh, yes.
Burglar Bill, it's really funny. He is burglar. And
Is it a children's book?
yeah, and
Okay.
he gets burgled by Burglar Betty.
Right, okay.
She's out working burgling, and he's out working burgling.
Right.
He comes across a cardboard box with holes in it on a
Yeah.
doorstep. He takes the box home.
Yeah.
Inside the box is a baby. He doesn't know the name of the baby.
Yeah.
And he opens the box and he goes, oh, look, it's a baby. But you have to say it in that voice because he's Burglar Bill, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's like,
Bit
oh,
rough.
look, it's a baby. Because we do the voices. And it was just like this joke that we had every time, for Hannah especially, is, oh, look, it's a baby. It's the baby.
Aw.
And it just became this thing. And so now I'm like, me and my mum would do it a lot. And we're like, oh, look, it's the baby. She goes, I'm not a baby, I'm Hannah.
Oh, it's so cute.
It's just so funny. But Burglar Bill is such a lovely book. And the story's really cute. So if you don't know it, you should check it out.
I'll have to get it. Yeah, I'll have to get it. I've got
And the illustrations are really nice in it as well. They're
Aw.
proper old school. But it's the same illustrator that did Peepo. You don't know Peepo?
Sorry.
I don't want to know what books you read as a child now.
I did read a lot of books as a child.
What sort of books do you remember having, like growing up with? What stories were you read?
Well, I don't remember much from when I was really little.
Yeah.
Apart from every now and then I'll find a book in a charity shop or something and I'll go, whoa, this
I
takes
remember
me back.
that.
Like Funny Bones. I got Funny
Oh,
Bones.
yeah.
And that was when I was little and it leaves your memory, and then you go, in a dark house,
As
there was
in
a
a
dark
dark
street. And you're
street.
like, okay, yep, this is all, why do I remember this so well? And then the other one he got was Peace at Last. And I remember my nana reading that to me very vividly.
So I remember 5 Minutes Piece, which was like the
like,
Peace at Last.
Right,
well.
okay, yeah.
But yeah. So we've got 5 Minutes Piece and Peace at Last. We have Peepo, we have Owl Babies, we have
Owl
Burglar
Babies,
Bill.
yeah.
Owl Babies is my friend Tash's husband's favourite book.
Oh, yeah.
Because they own a bookshop.
Yeah.
Every baby that their friends have, he always buys Owl Babies for.
That's cute.
It's like the go-to book.
And it's got 3 little owls in it as well, which is nice when you've got 3 children.
But the youngest one is like so moany. I want mummy. Oh look, I've upgraded. I'm on scissors now.
Wait. How are you finding it?
No, I'm loving it. It's so easy, and it's just like one of those like tasks, isn't it? It's not like you don't overthink anything. The instructions are clear.
Yeah.
Everything's in front of you. All you've got to do is follow the instructions, and I think that makes it really nice to be sitting drinking tea with you and having a chat.
It is nice to do with a friend, isn't it?
My friends and I were talking about other things we wanted to do in the run up to Christmas, and one of them was like, "Oh, we always build gingerbread houses and stuff," and I was like, "Oh, that's a nice idea." One of my other friends found biscuit decorating for grown-ups. I recently took Indy to do pottery painting. There's a new place that's just opened up on the just off the high street, that actually has a place in Hornchurch as well. We went there last week during half term, called Pink Parachute.
Cute.
The staff were lovely, but it was so quiet. I was shocked because it was half term. I thought it would be buzzing.
Yeah.
So I booked a table and everything. The coffee was great.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's half the battle, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And then, honestly, it's so weird, isn't it, when you go to places and the coffee's crap. You're just like, no.
Yeah.
No, you don't cater for an adult audience.
Yeah, and adults are the half the.
Yeah.
You've got to have the adults to have the child.
Yeah, precisely. So yeah, the coffee was good. The staff were lovely. They explained everything really well.
Yeah.
Indy, of course, being 4, she's 5 in April, but she's 4.
Yeah.
And so she's ended up with a very stripy princess. Next week, I think it will be ready to collect.
Yeah.
I think she might be a little bit shocked once it's been.
Yeah, because none
once
of the colours
fired.
None of the colours are the colours that go on it.
But what they did, which I thought was really cool, was they had a pot on each table with the paintbrushes in.
Yeah.
And that pot had been glazed.
Yes, you can
with
see
the colours
final
in front
colour.
of you.
Quite normal. Ceramic paint.
I'll be honest with you, my mum's a potter, so I've never been to one of these places. She's one of those potters that uses glazes that don't turn out like the glaze in the bottle.
Yes.
So
that is a lot of glazes.
Yeah, exactly. And so like all the glazes in this place, obviously the pink was going to be pink,
right?
and the red was going to be red. Whereas like what my mum would use, it would look brown in the bottle, and then it would turn out like cobalt blue or something. It was like, okay. And we did a couple of things, you know, like pottery bits, but like we mostly did sort of like junk modelling, because we used to watch a lot of Blue Peter.
Yeah.
As there was one time I attempted to build the Thunderbirds.
Stuff?
Yeah. It was like a weekly thing. They'd tell you what you needed
for
like, the next week on Blue Peter. I went through a phase where I really got into it, where it must have been about 10 or 11. I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to build it. And I got bored about halfway through, and Mum just ended up with like this big mound of thing that was meant to be Tracy Island. It wasn't quite there. It was quite funny. But a bit annoying. I didn't have the follow through to carry on with it. But yeah, we'd like keep loads of boxes and toilet rolls and like the kitchen roll and stuff to build things with. My mum was a teacher when we were growing up, so it meant that she had like the holidays and stuff off.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it was good. But I mean, you know, I can't do that.
No.
I work like full time. So then I end up feeling like, oh, you know, my kid's getting the best. Like, but it's the best I can do, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
But that's their normal, right? So it's not like...
It's normal to...
Yeah.
But it's not normal to me, because I grew up having a parent during the holidays.
You don't have to feel guilty. That's just normal. The thing is, how you have to think about it, is when they're at school, do you feel bad that you're not taking them to a pottery place. You don't, because they're at school. They're sort of the same. They're not sat at school. You know, it's just normal that they go to schools.
It's weird what we allow ourselves to feel guilty about, though,
Yeah,
isn't it?
I agree.
Like, there's so much crap out there on the internet to make us feel bad about ourselves.
Too much.
It all started with the joys of tabloids telling us that Jennifer Aniston had too much cellulite. Now we're just confronted by all the make you feel bad shit on Instagram.
All the clickbait and stuff.
Oh,
I hate it. I really hate Facebook.
But yeah, I'm not friends with Facebook anymore.
Are you not?
No, I only go on if I absolutely have to. I rarely go on. I'm that person that never wishes anyone a happy birthday anymore. It's very rare that I'll go on there. I'd rather doom scroll Instagram. I feel like Facebook's just become one big Trump, Elon Musk fan fest /
Market. I do use Market.
That's probably where you got your spinner, wasn't it?
Yeah, it literally is. I think that's why I still have Facebook. If Facebook didn't have Marketplace, the app would just offload off my phone. Sometimes post funny stuff, but I end up looking at the reels or the videos on Facebook, not realising I'm in Facebook. I think I'm in Instagram. And I'm like, what? Where's this? Oh, I'm in Facebook.
That button's not in the right place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I never really go on there purposely unless I'm searching for something on Marketplace, which, let's be honest, is probably every day.
Are you like a proper Marketplace fiend then?
So I've got a bit of a story here.
Oh no, go on.
So basically, you know the high chairs, trip traps. Have we told you this before? They're like a design.
I know,
clip.
I love them.
They're like a wooden thing, and then they grow with the child.
Yeah, yeah.
Put babies in them.
I wanted some, but they're so
expensive. However, people put them on Facebook Marketplace, not realizing that they hold their value. They don't know what they are, and they just put wooden high chair, £5, right? So I used to go around.
Know that.
I used to drive around snapping them up for £5-10. So maybe we'll sell the whole kit, which is like £400 new, for like a tray and the harness and the baby bit. So I'd go around collecting them and reselling them for like 120 quid. And so quite often, you know, Tommy would go in the loft and there'd be another high chair. Like quickly get it, clean it, photograph it, get it in the loft. And then, so when we moved house, I was.
How many did you have when you moved house?
I think I had 4.
Shit.
I had one child, and I assumed was one in my womb, not realising it. I knew I was pregnant, but I didn't think I had twins. So
Hang on, wait. Did you sell them all?
I sold them all.
Oh my god, this is brilliant. And then did you have to buy one for £100?
2 weeks later, I found out there's 2 babies, and I was like, I just got rid of all my trip traps. First world problems. I did manage to get another one, but in the meantime, my son didn't want to hit. Like they can have them until they're 12, but he didn't. He wanted a big boy chair. I ended up selling his ones. I did have 3, and then I've since sold his. I've given up the addiction, but every now and then I do see one, and it's like £10, but it's half hour drive, and I'm like, no, I can't. I just can't.
This is my clickbait story now. This podcast is Louise Richardson buys trip traps.
And sells them 10 times as much.
Louise Richardson's trip trap addiction.
Yeah, I did have an addiction.
I wish I'd have known that.
Yeah.
I would search trip trap. So I fell into the trap
yeah.
of not search wooden high.
Even if you search trip trap, you will get one for like 80 quid or something, which, let's be honest, is a lot of money for a high chair.
My first high chair was a Joy high chair where you pull the thing and it just goes whoo, like that. Oh, Joy is brilliant as a brand for high chairs and proper older kid push chairs.
Really?
Yeah, because they all have this like
strap in the middle.
So you pull it up and it all just goes. Folds
cool.
Up. It's so cool.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I had my first high chair for Asta was a Joy one, and it was so good because we had this tiny kitchen diner. We'd have the high chair set up. She'd eat, fall asleep in the high chair.
Yeah.
And it had a great tray and really good drinks holder bit.
Yeah.
And everything. And our dog, Belle, at the time, was a great big Rottweiler. And she would sit right in front of the high chair, sting faster to throw all her food on the floor. It was great. And so you just pull the thing and it would just all collapse up, then sit against the wall out of the way. And it was brilliant. Then my friend got a Joy push chair.
Yes.
Like one of those semi-sporty athletic ones with the
Right.
3 wheels. They did a lot of woodland walks and stuff. Great for that, yeah. Hers was a joy as well. And again, great cup holders.
Yeah. It's all about the cup holders.
If you haven't guessed, I am addicted to caffeine.
Yeah.
And so having a good cup holder.
It's key.
It's key to everything. Cup holders and coffee.
Yeah.
That's all you need to keep parents happy, guys.
And I tell you, I was talking to my friends about this the other day, actually, about cup holders. And if you're going to buy a cup holder for a pram, don't buy the knockoff one. It is not worth it. You need to buy the branded one.
Even the cup holders need suspension because, when you're going over like bumpy things, coffee comes out.
My current pram does not have an official cup holder, and I'm absolutely gutted.
You should have done your research.
I know, I should have done.
It's funny because it was great, and then we were packing up from the woods to go home, and she pulled the strap,
and it went flat,
and it just went. Whoop, and there was me with my Mamas and Papas great big hefty thing, struggling to pack it all down and put it in the car. But I'm not gonna lie, the Mamas and Papas prams are amazing.
Yeah,
mine was a Mamas and Papas for Boots pram.
A collaboration with Boots the chemist.
It was really good. So I just got the pram from Boots, and it didn't have like any of the extra bits. It didn't have like a baby carrier. My sister-in-law had a proper full-on Mamas and Papas one because her husband used to work in Mamas and Papas and then moved to Boots. And so I got my Mamas and Papas Boots pram with staff discount.
Nice, yeah.
And then she gave me all her bits from her Mamas and Papas one that all slotted in and worked with my pram. I've just done the florist. It's very cute. Got a little flower cart with mistletoe outside.
Yeah,
as well.
Is that Emily's florist?
That is Emily's Flowers and Wreaths.
Emily was the name we were going to give our son if he was a girl. So that's where Emily came from.
I love that. That's so cute.
It's also my sister's middle name.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there isn't much choice between prams though. So.
But I got all the bits and it all worked and it was great. From that perspective, with everything slotting together and working, and it made sense. But I was so jealous of my friend's pram. It's amazing what you become jealous of.
Yeah.
As when I was in my early 20s, I wasn't walking down the street going, that looks like such a good pram. That looks sturdy. Oh, look, that one comes with a wrist strap. It doesn't roll away.
You don't notice any of that, and then all of a sudden it's all you can see.
Yeah. Or I really like that foot muff. Where did you get it?
Yeah, that's my life at the moment because I'm searching for ones for the new pram.
Yeah.
It's not new, but searching for foot muffs because it's that time of the year. I'm trying to stuff them into foot muffs that I know are too small, so I need to upgrade.
It's hard though because you're thinking this is going to last one winter.
It's so annoying. Although I guess you can resell it. It's just bad because there's 2 babies. Yeah. Oh, see, I said babies again. There's 2 children. That it's double the price.
Yeah.
So annoying.
It's really hard. We lucked out having girls because my sister-in-law has 2 girls, so we get a lot of hand-me-down. It can be really tough, the expenditure on everything. And our twins are one of each, aren't they?
No, 2 girls.
Oh no, 2 girls.
Yeah.
Yes. I always forget.
But they're in like all my sons.
Did you do keep the neutrals?
We just kept everything because everything was handed down to us. Yeah, so we just kept everything. But I did sort of draw the line. I took the stuff out that was like little boy loves to play on the t-shirt. So I did take that. I thought that was a bit mean. But a lot of the time people say, "Oh, 2 boys," and I'm like, no, because they're in blue or whatever. It's not that they got boy.
Well, I used to dress up like things that I would buy myself.
Yes.
Tended to be like blue and stuff as well. Why does it have to be like that? She had a dinosaur t-shirt.
Yeah.
It was green.
Yeah.
And it had a dinosaur on the front, and the dinosaur had like rosy cheeks.
Yeah.
And it was covered in sequins, and it was in the girls section. People would always tell me, "Oh, that's a boys' t-shirt." And I was like,
"There's no such thing. It's
like,
so annoying."
She likes dinosaurs. Let her wear it.
It is really annoying. And the other thing that you won't realise because you've got girls, but boys' clothes, there's never as many. Girls' sections are always bigger, and they quantity-wise, the sales, girl stuff loads, boys' stuff nothing. And it's been like that since my son was little. And now I'm just glad I'm on the other side of it, where I get the girls' stuff.
Yeah.
But it is really annoying.
Asta's quite funny when it comes to jeans and stuff. She doesn't like jeans, but I keep them because there's stuff that Asta's never worn that Indy likes.
Yes.
And then there's stuff that Indy's never worn that Hannah likes. Their personalities are so different. The things they want to wear are so different. Yeah, it's just really funny when you're going through all the clothes. I end up keeping these boxes of clothes, and then once Hannah's grown out of them, I donate them.
It's quite emotional though. Do you remember doing that for the first time?
I still sit there and I look at stuff and I still try and keep a few bits.
Yeah.
And then my husband's like, why are you doing that? There's so many emotions attached to them all and happy memories. It can be really tricky, and it's really tough when you're packing them away for the last time that they're never going to wear that.
Yeah.
And by the time Hannah's worn it, in some cases, that's 5 children who've worn those outfits. And I mean, that's a really good run, isn't it? But it does mean I'm having to top up leggings for Hannah because
the elastic goes on them and stuff, doesn't it, all the time?
Well, it's not just that. Indy really used to like to skid along the floor on her knees because although I don't have boys, I have girls that act like them. Asta quite likes a tree.
Nice.
Hannah really likes climbing high climbing frames.
Oh yeah.
And then giving me a panic attack at the idea of having to get her down because she is fearless. And as I said, she's not even 3, and she can climb higher than both her sisters, which is quite nerve wracking.
Yeah. Have you taken this like a clip and climb?
No.
I went to one with my son for a birthday party. As you go in, there's literally like 3-year-olds climbing to the top, absolutely fearless. It's so nice to see that their parents have like seen that part of them and encouraged it. Do you know what I mean? I think the older you get, the more scared you get. You just you're just fearless when they're tiny.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe you should
feel
take
like
it to
that's a daddy activity. Though.
Yeah, blue job, nice.
Yeah, because it's mostly because I'm scared of heights.
Yeah, so am I actually. You just have to help put the harness on at the bottom.
Well, the last time I did like a go ape kind of thing.
Yes, I've done one of those. Did not end well.
God.
Didn't start well, didn't end well.
Well, actually, do you know what? The worst bit was not the zip line at the end, weirdly.
Because you know
the end is nigh. It's coming. I don't have to worry. I'll be there at the end. No, it was like the middle bit, you know, where it's the really big gaps and you've got the wooden blocks.
Yes.
And you're like,
and you can see through the.
I don't like swings either.
Swings, what in general?
I'm not. Well, like small playground swings, fine, but like big theme park rides.
Yeah.
That swing.
Oh, okay, yeah, because the sensation of it all.
So at Peppa Pig World, there's a ride called. What's it called? Well, it's actually Portons Park, isn't it? Tornado Springs.
Oh right.
New area. Called the Cyclonator.
Yeah.
It spins and swings.
My sister loves stuff
my
like that.
husband could go on that all day, every
Yeah.
day.
So could my sister.
No.
I can't. No, I can't.
No, thank you. No, I can think of much better ways of spending my time.
Yeah.
And that's probably at the donut. Coffee and donut.
Oh, see, I've just gone completely off there. My scissors have just gone their own way. But it's fine, I'll correct it.
So, see, guys, even the artist can be a bit on the wobble. Right, I am now making the Village Hall Christmas Day event.
Oh, you're doing the big one.
Big one.
I've just finished the Gingerbread Man Adoption Centre.
Oh, nice! Show us that.
They've got the little people in the adoption, the staff.
Yeah, the staff.
The big gingerbread man, and then there's the children in all the windows all the way around.
That's so cute.
And I'm now working on the Indie Gift Company.
Oh, cool.
Which is number 2, and there's lots of things in the windows. Mugs, wreaths, t-shirts, baby grows, neon sign, frames, and then there's wrapping paper on the other side, and really nice little lampshades. And the wrapping paper, I know you can't tell,
is it your wrapping paper?
But it's my wrapping paper.
Oh my god, that's so cute. Because you don't just do cards; it's any print, isn't it? So you do your own wrapping paper.
Yeah. Do cards, wrap. I did do gift tags last Christmas. All the Christmases
I saw you
doing
posted
these.
about them the other day.
And I really loved them. Do you know what happened? I was scarred last year because I went to order more And I did order some, I think, for a wholesale order. So I ordered like a I thought, right, go on then, we'll go for this again. And I ordered a massive batch. And obviously gift tags are like design on the front. And then the way I was doing is you cut them out and then you string, I ordered like a lot and I accidentally did them double-sided. So they were not usable. And I cried and cried and cried.
I can imagine.
And then I could not face spending more money on
doing them again.
I
don't blame you. Give yourself a year.
Yeah.
Get over it.
With the trauma. And I thought, they came in and went, oh, useless printing company, keyboard board.
And then you check the proof.
Oh, we'll just actually check that I ordered the right thing.
Because that will make it even worse. Check the proof and realise you were wrong.
It was me. They might have done me like a gesture of goodwill or something, but there was too much trauma.
Did you not even talk to
Didn't even talk to him. No, I thought...
Better to hide under a rock.
I want this memory to leave me instantly. So I just put them all in the recycling bin, had to cry and try not to think about it
It's so weird, isn't it? I've had to have some leaflets printed recently for a trade show that we're doing. And they were like, you sure?
What do you mean?
This is definitely what you want printed.
Oh, no, what?
Because on both sides, they look similar. They're front and back, but they have different details. They're meant to be two-sided with different information on them. And so I checked, and it was completely fine, exactly the right information. But I was grateful that they checked just in case.
Yes.
And then I did a stand design for this other trade show that we're going to. And they actually supply the stand, which is really cool. This event company just upload the artwork and they get it printed for you, which is awesome. As part of your thing. That I've never come across another company that does that. It means that we get the most up-to-date stand for that particular show, because I have to order a stand and then that's our stand for a year. So you have to make it right to begin with.
Well, the print company did offer that service, but you have to pay for it. I was like, I'm a professional, I don't need that. So it's definitely my own doing. But yeah, I do art prints as well.
You do Christmas countdowns as well.
Yeah, I forgot to bring one of those today. It's like a A4 art print, but then you put it in a frame with colourful perspex. Use a dry white pen, wipe it off, and write the next one. I've just taken my Halloween one down. I did a Halloween one this year, and my son absolutely loved asking the Amazon robot woman. I don't want to say her name because it sets anything off.
Oh yeah, we've got one in here.
How many days till Halloween? He'd
write it on the thing. Even though it's just taking one away.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
No, so my eldest has also been asking the Amazon robot woman how long until Christmas.
Yes, and then they do a little festive.
So if you say how long until Christmas, it will tell you in days.
Right. Yes. We get that as well.
But she does not want that. She wants the smallest number. The number of days is just too long because it's too far at that point. So what she'll do is she'll say how many weeks until Christmas. Right, so the number's smaller, right?
Clever.
This is lovely and it's big.
Yes,
so,
you can fit a lot.
And that's number 25.
Chocolate in there, a lot. Full size stuff.
Full size stuff, yeah. And so she will ask in weeks, and she got really upset and confused when she asked on Sunday how many weeks until Christmas, and it said 7 weeks.
Yeah.
And then she asked on Monday, and she said 7 weeks, and she was like, "But it's a new week.
Yeah.
So why is it still 7 weeks?" And then me and Syl had to explain to her that Christmas is on a Wednesday, and so it won't go down to 6 weeks until Wednesday. Today. And she was like, "Oh," and so she got so upset about the fact that this woman was telling her that it was still 7 weeks till Christmas. And I was like, "Well, maybe ask in days," and so she did ask in days. But then she stopped Santa like halfway through. And I was like, you can't just interrupt Santa. It's so rude.
The big man when he was giving his little speech.
Exactly. He's making you presents, dude. You can't do that.
Oh
yeah, I call my kids dude quite a lot.
Oh, yeah,
and they think it's really funny. Last year, my eldest school, the nativity from the film. So we spent a good 6 weeks in our house just singing "Hey Dude, Where's My Donkey?" And it's so stuck. Dude has just become like the go-to in my house now. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? They look at me like I'm a bit weird, but I'm their mum. They're supposed to look at me like that, right?
That's the whole idea.
Yeah,
definitely.
I was talking to my husband on the sofa the other night, and we were talking about something really silly, like just a silly conversation, slightly childish. I was thinking to myself, wonder whether when we were kids, our parents had weird little conversations.
They must
like
have done.
But this is the thing, isn't it? I'm sitting there thinking this is a really, really silly, slightly childish conversation. And then I'm like, I wonder whether our parents spoke like this. So when we were kids, we'd sit there and think, parents are grown up.
Serious
they have
people.
Serious conversations. You don't really think about your parents having silly conversations, do you?
No.
So I said to us that earlier, me and Daddy were having a really silly conversation the other night. And I thought, oh, this is a bit childish, isn't it? And she said, you're not children. You're grown up. And I was like, yes! That's exactly how I thought when I was your age.
I remember realising for the first time, I distinctly remember where I was when I realised that my mum was a person before she was my mum.
Yeah.
Like, that she wasn't just always
Your
my mum her whole life. And I was at school because I was on the school field. And I'm the eldest, right? So we weren't going there for anyone else.
Yeah.
Might have been at play school actually, because that was at the same place. I don't think it was. I remember thinking that you actually did stuff. Like, there was a time where I didn't exist.
Yeah.
And you were your own person.
Still now, like she's 8, she'll still say to me, when it was your wedding, where was I? And I was like, well, you didn't exist yet. And she finds it really difficult to get this,
well, it is
existential
weird.
idea that she didn't actually exist once, that she wasn't actually always here.
Yeah.
Can you go back now and really feel like your children weren't ever there?
It is strange to think.
To think that you were ever a person before your children.
It's strange to think that, like, I just got home from work, went, what should I do with my evening?
Yeah. I used to come home from work, walk the dog, make my tea.
In your own leisure, at your own pace.
Without anyone crying or whining or saying that they didn't want beans.
Or you just got up, got dressed, and you went wherever you were going. Like, I can't, that's so odd to me. I feel like I've done it since forever.
Sometimes when I have to go into London for work, and I get up and I don't have to do the school run.
Yes, that was me today. Actually, no, I did do the school run today. That's me every other day now.
Yeah. But it's so liberating, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the best bit is doing the school run with no pram. So when the girls are somewhere else or they're at home with Tommy or whatever, and I don't have the pram, I literally feel like pre-children. I just get out the car and I go, right, come on then, coat on, let's go. And there's no turfing a pram out, getting babies out of the car seats, and I'm like, oh, this is lovely.
Yeah. So I'm really lucky that Usta really likes school. And so it used to be, before Indy started in September, on a Monday, it would just always be me and her, because the others didn't go to nursery on a Monday. And so we'd get in the car and go. And there were no arguments. No one was crying. There was no worry about, like, by the time she got into year 1 and she'd really got, like, this getting ready for school malarkey down pat, it was so easy. Reception was still a bit tricky. But then we also homeschooled the majority of that.
Because of COVID, yeah.
But, I mean, I'm finding reception with Indy quite difficult.
Really?
She has, like, this whole sensory thing about socks, shirts.
Right.
And so we already had long sleeve and short sleeve shirts. I was worried Asta would have this problem. Indy only wants to wear short sleeve shirts, which is fine because her school requires you to wear a cardigan and a blazer.
At the same time? You can't just wear a cardigan?
Blazers are mandatory in reception.
In reception?
In reception.
No. That's bizarre because
she never wears it. It's always in her bag. Her class teacher told me the other day, the ones you see go in blazers literally strip off the minute they get into the classroom. The only time they really wear them is for assembly.
Really? That's really bizarre.
But she also doesn't like it if she's wearing like a cardigan with a t-shirt with long sleeves.
Right.
And then a cardi or a jumper with long sleeves.
Touching her skin.
Because then it's 2 lots of sleeves, 2 lots of cuffs and socks at the moment. Yeah, I'm trying to find... Someone told me the other day that they sell these in Primark now, but seamless tights. So like even the toes, there's no seam across the top of the toes, so that makes it easier. But she hates. We've got a debate about tights. She doesn't like the socks, so we moved her over to tights. But then they keep falling down, and it's the whole thing. It's long and thingy at the moment. Getting ready in the morning with Indy is difficult because Indy's not at nursery anymore and she's in school uniform. My youngest doesn't want to put her nursery uniform on, which is just a t-shirt with the logo of the nursery on it.
Oh, I've never had a nursery uniform.
Oh yeah, there's quite a few nurseries that do it, and when Asta was little, her nursery started doing it just before they went into lockdown. And I was like, I'm not investing in a uniform when she's going to go to school soon. And then when they brought it in at Indy and Hannah's nursery, which is a different place, I was like, now that I have a kid who wears a uniform, I 100% see the benefit in this.
Oh really? Because there's no argument about what they're going to wear. I guess
there was no choosing what Minnie Mouse top to wear.
Yeah, that's true actually.
And whether they were long sleeves or short sleeves, because they're just short sleeves.
Yeah. That's quite good actually, yeah, I see what you mean.
And sometimes, like with Indy, I put a long sleeve t-shirt on underneath, so she had a bit of a Sheldon Cooper look about her. Long sleeve t-shirt with a short sleeve Tiddles t-shirt with chocolate. But yeah, it's tough though, like all the sensory weird things they don't like.
Yeah.
And also Indy, now that she's more grown up and she's at school, she wants to be independent, but then equally she still wants me to dress her.
Yeah.
Because she misses that.
My son can get himself dressed, and if he wants to impress us, he'll go and get himself dressed.
Yeah.
But he much prefers, can you do it for me? And I love it, so I'm like, yeah, go on then, let's race Daddy. Let's see if we can get ready before Daddy.
That's the thing, like I've been getting up earlier to take dog for a walk, because then it's been setting me up for the day. It's actually been quite nice.
Oh yeah, I saw that. You've been having your little walk.
So I've been getting out, and it gives me time without a child screaming at me every 5 seconds, and prep for the day, and then it gets my steps up, because I've been feeling like really sort of just stagnant.
Yeah.
To sit at a desk all day, and I work from home, so I don't travel anywhere.
Some people do that. They go for a walk in the morning and they call that their commute, which is quite cute.
I like that. Just YouTube. Oh no.
We're still good?
We're still good. No, it's not a person asking me a question.
Oh, it's just
a video. For some inexplicable reason, it's suggesting that I watch a video called Elon Musk. That's bad news.
Because we're talking about it.
Yeah, there you go. They're always listening.
It is always listening, all right.
Don't you find that? It's really strange. You say something and then instantly on Facebook that you're getting served ads.
Yeah.
For the thing you were literally just talking about.
Yeah, it is bizarre.
It's quite scary, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Always watching.
Always watching. Always listening. Right, how many have you done?
I am on number 7.
Okay, yeah, I've done 7.
Wow.
I'm about to go on to my 8th. We've done 16, so we're 2/3 of the way through. 3. I don't know. Oh my goodness, my maths is terrible.
Well, we're coming up to 9 o'clock.
Okay, yes. We're going 2 hours.
But we have been talking. Like, I think if you were doing it on your own and you were watching something on the telly, you'd probably be a bit quicker than we have been, because we've been talking about them, we've been showing them, we've been chatting about, you know, prams and all. But I really enjoyed it, though.
Yeah, it's good.
It doesn't feel like does it?
No,
it's
it
so
doesn't.
Lovely. Right, what one have you finished?
I've just finished the mini rainbow bakery. So there is a big normal sized rainbow bakery, and then there's like a market stall.
Did you like it so much you made it twice?
Yeah, because I got put a lot of work into those illustrations, and I thought they got to go again.
I've got the hot chocolate cafe. It is really cute. I love the light over the top of the table and the 2 hot chocolate cups. I want to finish this one house because I've already scored it, so I'll finish it. But while I'm finishing it, there was something I wanted to talk to you about as well when I was pitching to get you on the podcast, and that was about your children Was it easier to look for in the twins because you're eldest?
So it runs in my partner's family on his mum's side. They're all hard of hearing, and it's a genetic trait. My partner also wears hearing aids.
Oh,
but
wow.
He doesn't like wearing them, and I keep saying you have to because you are an example to your children.
Yeah.
And I made him go get new ones as well, which he can like talk on the phone on them and stuff. So obviously it's always been on our radar.
Yeah.
But my son passed his newborn hearing test, so that was the end of it. When he was about 18 months old, he had his like 18-month health visitor check thing.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, can he say, Mummy gone car, Mummy gone to work in car?" And I was like, "Eh?" He can say Mummy, Daddy, Pepper. Like, that is it.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, okay. You should definitely be able to string a sentence together." And I was like, "No, we're nowhere near that." And they were like, "Do you think anything is wrong with his hearing?" And I was like, "Well, it could be because genetically there's a chance."
Yeah.
No one ever brought it up. I obviously tell midwives and all that kind of stuff, but it never got flagged as anything. And when he was 18 months old, he was diagnosed with deafness. He got hearing aids at 18 months old. That was a bit of a learning curve, getting them in and keeping them in. It's a lot sensory for an 18-month-old.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Who are finding their independence and that kind of stuff. So then with the twins, when I was pregnant, they said, "Oh, you need to go for genetic testing to see if they're going to be deaf." And I was like, okay. So they prioritised us for Adam Brooks genetic testing, which I think they were going to do. They were obviously going to do when they were still in my tummy. I don't know how they were going to do it.
Yeah.
But then they were like, "Oh, if they have this genetic trait, will you terminate the pregnancy?" I was like, obviously not. And they were like, "Oh, well, if you're not going to terminate the pregnancy, then we're not going to prioritise you." I was like, "What? Okay." That's so odd.
Seriously?
It obviously must be applicable for other genetic traits where you would need to. But anyway, so that was the end of that. And so the girls, one of them failed their newborn hearing test and the other one passed their newborn hearing test. And then we explained, well, we would like to get them both tested because actually our son's hearing loss was missed, or it wasn't picked up.
Yeah, was it just mild enough that?
Well, it's mild to moderate, so it is worthy of hearing aids, but apparently it's something to do with the newborn test. Doesn't test for certain frequency. Something. I can't remember what it is, but it wasn't picked up then. But they said even if it wasn't picked up with the family history, he should have been tested at 9 months old, because that's the perfect age for the first set of hearing tests. So the first set of hearing tests when they're babies is when they play a sound. Yeah. You're in a quiet room thing. And they play a sound and look. Then when they look, they're rewarded with a little animal in a box. The lights when a little cat meow, meow. Yeah. And then that literally trains their brain, like their monkey reflexes, that when they look, they are rewarded, and therefore when they hear the sound again, they are taught to look. Like a dog hearing his treats be thingy. So that's the perfect age for that test, right? So if you've got a genetic history, you should be tested at 9 months old. When the girls had it, I said, no, we need them tested straight away. So they were had their first hearing test on their due date.
Oh, wow.
So they were tiny. And that was one of the ones where they have to be asleep, fast asleep, and it just bounces the signals to their eardrum and back again into a computer. Yeah. And that's when they confirmed they were both deaf.
So are they just testing how the eardrum bounces that sound back?
No. It's so cool, it's really clever.
I'm totally Googling this.
It's really clever. I think that's what it's doing.
Yeah.
But their hearing loss is to do with the nerves, the proteins in the nerves in their cochlea. So that's where the genetic, it's like not making the hairs in the cochlea properly. That's what the loss is. So they've got hearing aids, which helps them, but it doesn't fix it. Yeah. But they've had them since they were 6 weeks old. Wow. Like tiny little hearing aids that the back of it was literally bigger than their whole ear. And they were 4 weeks early, right? So they're like 2 weeks old, really, with these little hearing aids. And now they have them in, and it's fine.
They don't even really like them, do they? Because they're just something they wear every day.
I try and put them in every day for an hour or so. But it depends what we're doing, busy, and it can't be too loud. I couldn't go to the play area and put them in because someone will shriek and then they start getting agitated. So the situation's got to be right, but at home it's fine, and they have them at the childminders. They'll wear them for a couple of hours, sometimes they'll wear them for 10 minutes. Wow. And then they'll just pull them out. They've got the exact little grip to just go, right, I've had enough now. Those are coming out.
I suppose that's quite nice though, isn't it? Like
Oh, it would be lovely, wouldn't it? Yeah, I can see why my partner doesn't wear them.
I've got to got myself some loop earplugs.
I've got some of them.
Yeah.
I wore them all day today in London.
Oh, did you?
Lovely. Yeah, they really take the edge off. In fact, funnily enough, the day I got my loop earplugs was the day Tommy got his new hearing aids.
So he could hear better and you could hear less.
So I was like doing the dinner and I was like, you know, like everything's muffled and I was like, oh, this is lovely.
I like wearing them when they're home, like just home from. Sometimes I even wear my noise cancelling headphones when I'm in the office on my own. But I also have a gaming keyboard as my keyboard because I quite like the
all the lights that I click that keyboard.
But it makes me feel more productive because I can hear the clack of the keys and I feel like, yeah, I'm getting shit done right now.
Yeah.
I'm so sad, but I don't really like my laptop. Like my laptop one is one of those, like, you know, the keys are flat.
Yeah, it's not as nice. I've got a clicky one. It's nice.
Yeah, I've seen your keyboard.
Oh yeah, my pink one. It's not the most practical, but it looks nice. So.
Things that look
exactly. Yeah, I did wear noise cancelling headphones, and I'd say that's like my number one parent hack is like get noise cancelling headphones. But the only thing is, if you leave the house in not noise cancelling headlights, like the big green ones for fireworks, people do look at you funny because you're clearly opting out of the situation quite visually. Yeah. So the loops are great because no one can see. Also, the other thing with noise cancelling ones is if you touch them or they knock,
it's really loud.
It goes right through, and then that sends me to 100. I'm over the edge of anger. The loops are 10 out of 10.
Better, yeah. So I've just done the stocking shop.
Oh,
they're so cute. They're lovely. These are gorgeous, and this kit is amazing, and it's so self-explanatory.
Oh,
all the instructions on them and everything are so cute, and in your handwriting.
Yes, it is. That's a font I've made out of my own handwriting. I only generally use my own handwriting, or if I'm doing loads of text, I have a couple of fonts that I've made from handwriting.
That's so cool. I didn't even. Well, yeah, I had no idea you could do that. I do now.
I mean, I didn't do it. Tommy did it for me.
He's
doing me a website at the moment.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that should be good. You can keep this kit. This is for you.
Oh, thank you. Really?
Yeah, definitely.
I will put it on my mantelpiece. I can't wait.
You get your Christmas Eve. There's a few more to make here that you can make maybe with the girls. And
maybe on my own, because a mindfulness time after bedtime.
Yeah, it is quite mindful though, isn't it?
Get a glass of something nice, something good on the telly.
And then you can, if you just get, well, that shoebox is quite small, but like that box that I've brought, you get something like that, then you can keep it. It lasts for years.
But that's the thing, isn't it? We can reuse them again and again.
Yeah, they do last for years. I mean, I've had mine for years, but I keep losing it. I had a Halloween one, and I've lost it, and I couldn't do it.
Is that because it's under a trip trap?
Quite potentially.
It's been so fun, and I've been wanting to meet you in person for so long. I feel like the next time you're coming through, we'll have to go for a coffee.
Yeah, definitely.
Because this has been so good. I've really enjoyed myself, and we've had a really lovely conversation.
Yeah, it's been lovely.
Thank you so much for coming on. And if you've been watching live, it's been lovely having you. If you haven't and you've missed it, you're probably watching Friday, because this will be out then. There's one thing that we haven't done.
The giveaway.
Yeah. Shall we announce our winner?
Do you know how to do it?
What do you want me to do?
I did it earlier on a website and I've recorded it so you can read out the winner. I thought I'd prepare it earlier in case. It only let me do it once.
You should announce our winner.
To remind people of what they win, it is a Merry and Bright advent calendar.
Yes.
But also your elf log journal.
My elf log journal. So a lovely little book in A5. And it's got lots of little puzzles and colouring in and dots and crosswords and word searches to keep the kids busy over the festive period. But also some diary entry pages. There's double the amount, 48 pages of diary entry pages, so that your kids can log the activity of their elves over the festive period. So it started out as keeping them busy and exercise for my eldest, because it had been flagged that her spellings needed working on and her handwriting. We started it to get her creative writing up. She absolutely loved it last. She was 7 and she absolutely loved it. She's asked me when she's getting her new one. I told her. She loved writing down the cheeky antics they got up to. The books would stay like near the elves.
Right.
So as soon as they saw the elves, they could then write down what they'd been up to. After school, they could do the fun activities.
Yeah. Cute.
So, yeah.
Okay, so it's the elf log and the Merry and Bright. So this is the video. I'll just play it for authenticity. And it's at Gems Frey.
Oh,
Gems Frey.
Congratulations. So we will message you after this, let you know that you've But anyway, thank you so much for joining me and being my first guest in the Factory Studio.
Yeah, I love it. It's amazing. So professional.
Thank you so much.
It looks really good.
I would have had so much fun decorating it earlier when you were coming.
I love these disco ball lights. I need to get me some of those.
Oh, they were in Asda.
Oh, really?
There you go. Plug for Asda. Not sponsored in no way. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It was great to have you. And we'll see you all later.
Bye.
Thanks so much for joining me on Mum's Work and Chaos. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and leave a review. It really helps us to reach other mums out there. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Mum's Work and Chaos Podcast for more updates, laughs, and support. Until next time, remember, we're all in this chaos together.